Okay, welcome to the show. This is Ted Talks Too Much. And I think we've got another great one for you today. I'm Ted Moss, ex-dump truck driver, stand-up comedian, and your host. We are located in the OK Boomer Studios, just outside of Flint, Michigan. That's right, Flint, Michigan's water wonderland, where the people are still wondering when they'll get some clean water. But while we all wait for that to happen, let's talk. And on today's show, we got Billy Reno, a good friend of mine. He's going to share his thoughts on a childhood as a wannabe chocolate milk thief, the royal family, life on the road doing comedy, and how to make money delivering vodka to good-looking local ladies. For all that and more, stay tuned.
This is Harmonious Merkin, your politically correct pundit, protecting the ears, minds, and feelings of the people who may be within receiving range of your thoughtless, casual, but callous utterances, here to remind you of what you may say and what you may not say today. Today's topic, group labels. Please be advised that going forward, that the group formerly known as midgets should only be referred to as little people. The group formerly known as little people should only be referred to as children. The group formerly known as children should only be referred to as toddlers. And last but not least, the group formerly known as toddlers should only be referred to as little assholes. Now, I know this may seem harsh, but after thorough investigation and extensive consultation with PCPA, Politically Correct Pundits of America, we have not only determined that this is literally correct from a descriptive point of view, but we have yet to find one toddler that isn't totally narcissistic. Besides, if they don't like it, they are far too small to do anything about it. So as always, until things change once again, that's our advice on what you may say and may not say today. And with that, my friends, carry on.
Alrighty, today we've got a super guest for you. I just know this will be a fun conversation. He's a fellow stand-up comedian, and he was the other half of the 2018 Broken Road Comedy Tour, where we spent 3 months on the road living in a very small RV together. And not only was he a great guy to tour with, but he has the tolerance of a saint. He is currently performing all around the Midwest. He is a founding member of the Lighten Up Comedy podcast that also runs a regular show in Detroit. And he just cut his first comedy CD called Can't Handle the Thought. Let's give a warm OK Boomer Studios welcome to my good friend, Mr. Billy Reno. Hey, Billy.
Hey, Ted. How's it going?
It's going great. I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah, excited to be here. I love the studio.
Oh, thank you.
And even more, I love the name. That's hilarious.
Yeah. Do you like the fact that your picture is on the wall of the studio?
Yeah, you know what? Too many of my pictures are on the wall of this studio. I'm wondering if I'm going to get out of this house tonight.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, the nice thing is most of them are painted, and when you paint pictures instead of take them, you can choose to be any size you want to. So.
Yeah.
We can make you heavy. We can make you thin.
Yeah. I don't need you to make me heavy. I got that covered. Just make me thin. And for the audience, just so the audience knows, I did not model for these paintings of me.
Oh, he did, but he didn't realize it at the time. He was modeling.
Yeah. I took that Cosby cocktail.
Yeah. So what's going on with you? I saw you perform at the Holly Hotel recently.
Yeah. A couple of weeks ago, myself and Bill Bouchard was the headliner, and the Holly, those were three great shows actually. There was a second show Saturday night. So
yeah, I caught Friday, and you both did really well Friday.
Yeah, and
then you had Bill Morrison.
Bill Morrison came out to MC on the Saturday show.
And so that's cool.
Yeah, we had two good shows on Saturday as well.
Yeah,
and it was a lot of fun. The Holly's a great room.
Yeah, and for people who aren't from around here, Holly's a small town in southeast Michigan, and they have a I guess it's a historic hotel.
Yeah.
With a comedy club in the basement that's been there forever.
Yeah, since 1980 or something like that.
Yeah, but it's a great little room.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's I don't know who says it. I mean, a lot of comedians say this line that any room that is horrible in a fire is great for comedy. And I mean, if a fire broke out, we would all die down there.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you would. There's a very small exit.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's even up to the fire code.
Ooh, I don't know. Oh, great. So when the Holly Hotel gets shut down.
Yeah, it was all because of this podcast. Oh, you're welcome, Connie.
Yeah, right.
Thanks for putting me on. We'll talk more about your room. No, you had a great show there. That was really fun to watch, and I actually got to sit with some ladies.
Oh, yeah.
That you know.
Yes.
But I have not seen since high school.
Yeah, and that you know. Do you know Pam from high school?
No, she was the little sister. They were sisters.
Okay.
And I knew the older sister, Marcia, and I think Pam was about 6 to 8 years younger.
Okay.
So when I knew Marcia, she was like, I don't know, 16. Yeah, I wasn't looking at her 8-year-old sister.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, not in those days.
Yeah, but you are in these days. That's what you're saying.
No, but it was nice to see him. It's always strange to run into people that you haven't seen in a long time.
Yeah, it is.
And coincidentally, you got to run into, or you got to see one of your friends from when you used to work on Mackinac Island.
Yeah, when I worked on Mackinac Island, a buddy of mine, Jimmy Fisher, he owns Mackinac Wheels up there on the island, a bike shop. He owns 2 bike shops up there. And, he came down. He always, when he can, especially during the winter, he comes down to my shows, check them out.
That's very cool. That's a long drive, too. That's got to be like 4 hours plus. He's got to get off the island.
Yeah.
And the unique thing about Mackinac Island is there's no motorized vehicles. It's all
just
horses and bicycles, basically, right?
Just emergency vehicles they have, but you don't see them very often. It's all, and there's about 500 residents that live year-round. So they ride their snowmobiles when the lake freezes over.
Is it going to freeze this year?
I don't know. I don't think. I kept hearing it's going to be a bad winter, and it hasn't really been.
No, I mean, I had to plow one time or snowblow in November, and nothing since. No, there's nothing going on. No. Global warming, man.
Hey, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Make us like San Diego.
Yeah, let the oceans rise.
Yeah.
Don't care about the polar bears.
No.
I don't know.
No, I want it to be 75 and sunny every day.
Yeah.
Light breeze. We can get some rain every now and then just to keep the Great Lakes supplied with water so they don't dry up like California. And
yeah, well, you need to move to Hawaii. That way you get constant weather all the time.
Yeah, Hawaii would be nice. Yeah. But it's expensive.
Well, but I think they pay appropriate, right?
No, nobody pays appropriate.
Well, there's people living there. Yeah. I mean, somehow they got to survive, but they got to ship in everything to Hawaii.
Yeah, like Mackinac. Mackinac got all the food's got to get shipped in, so everything up there is a little bit more.
Yeah,
and because it's a tourist trap too.
Yeah, which is a 20-minute boat ride, but Hawaii is like 4.5 hours. They're flying stuff in. Yeah, there's a little bit of difference, I think. Maybe. Yeah, you can't swim to Hawaii. So anyhow, you know what? I know a lot about you because we've been friends for a while. We've done stand-up comedy for a while. But just for the audience, I thought I'd ask you a couple background questions.
Oh, great.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. And you don't have to tell the truth. You just have to come up with any sort of answer to fill the time.
Just talk, Billy. That's your only...
Well, tell me about Billy Reno before comedy. Who was Billy Reno before he was doing stand-up comedy?
He was a lost soul. He was... Well, I worked mainly in restaurants. So I've worked in restaurants ever since I was 16 or 15. I started at Sweden House. Do you remember the Sweden House?
I do. Actually, it was Sweden House and Schnitzel's. My buddies worked at Sweden House, which was, I think, cafeteria style, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And so was Schnitzel's, where I worked.
Yeah.
What did you do at Sweden House?
I was a busboy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You had the high money job there. The skilled labor.
The skilled, I almost got arrested. It was the manager was trying to make a softball game.
Yeah.
And she's rushing us all out, and she asked if anyone checked the back dish tank. And it was at the back of the restaurant, and I said, I'll go check it. And I went back there, and the counter was wet, so I grabbed the towel and I dried it off.
What is a dish tank?
Well, where you do the dishes, the dishwashing machine.
Oh, okay.
Where you do the dishes. Okay. Yeah. So I go back and I wipe it all down, and I come out and it's pitch black in the restaurant. And I'm like 15, 16 at this time. So I go walking up to the front door, and I hit the front door, and it was locked, but I set the alarm off, and I did the silent alarm.
Oh, God.
So
you were the only one there, and you were breaking out.
I was trying to break out, yes. And I was waiting for my mom to come pick me up, because I think this is before I had my license.
Right. Did the door not open when you pushed it?
No, it didn't open. It was locked. So I went to the back door. I unlocked it and went outside, and then I went back inside. And I thought of stealing one of those 75-gallon bags of chocolate milk.
Why?
Because I love chocolate milk.
So, hold it. Once the alarm went off and you thought, I must be a thief, so...
I didn't know the alarm went off.
Oh.
It was a silent alarm.
Oh.
So I had no idea the alarm went off.
And while you're waiting, you thought...
Well, I was waiting for my mom.
I like chocolate.
Yeah. I was like, I like chocolate. So I thought of it, but then I thought there's no way I can get this into the car without my mom seeing it.
Yeah.
And she's not going to be down for being the getaway driver.
No.
Not for chocolate milk.
Well, could you hide the chocolate milk on you without
it's like a 20-pound bag of chocolate milk. It's, I don't know if it's 20, it's maybe 10 or 5 pounds, but it's a big bag of chocolate milk that we would put in the machine.
Sure.
Then, so I decided against it, which I'm glad I did, because then I went walking out and the flashlights hit me. And the police were like, freeze.
Really?
Yeah. I put my hands up.
Yeah, put down your chocolate milk, buddy.
Yeah, right. Well, they didn't believe that I worked there. I'm wearing a white dress shirt, short sleeve with black pants. I got an apron, and I'm like, yeah, this is how I dress to break into places. I'm like, we find it hard to believe they'd lock you in. I'm like, well, they did. They locked me in.
Did they say they had a lot of chocolate milk go missing recently in the area, and they were looking for someone a lot like you?
I had the chocolate mustache. Mustache. The thing was, I was drinking some too, because I went to the chocolate milk machine and I grabbed a big glass of chocolate milk, and but then my mom pulled up and they talked to her, and she's like, yeah, he works here. I came to pick him up. Yeah. To get off his shift, and they asked me, they're like, what are you going to do about the door? And I'm like, it's not my problem. And I was like, the doors, that's not my problem. What do you want me to do? I said, I don't know what to do. I'm fucking 16, man. I don't have keys to the place, So they ended up getting a hold of the manager, and she apologized profusely to me. Yeah, I don't know. I remember once they told me to take all the boxes by the back door to the dumpster.
Yeah.
And they had three like 50-pound boxes of beef, 3 separate things of beef that were 50 pounds.
Well, hold on. To the dumpster, were they like rotten meat?
No. That was their delivery, but everyone was throwing the boxes. They were breaking them down.
Yeah.
And like when they were taking things out of the box, breaking them down, they were putting it by the back door, so it got kind of covered up in that mess. And I grabbed all 3, and I was like, oh, these are heavy, and I just flipped right into the dumpster. I remember the manager freaking out, like, where are those 3 cases of beef? And they kind of like put 2 and 2 together, and they came up and said, hey, did you throw away the beef? And I'm like, is that why those boxes were so heavy?
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Did you have to go into the dumpster?
Yes. They made me go into the dumpster and pull those boxes back out.
Did they serve that
yes.
food?
Yes, they served them.
Oh, man. Can you do that?
No. Probably not. But you know what? They were probably, I'm guessing they were sealed plastic, in a box and hermetically sealed in plastic, I would imagine.
Hermetically sealed?
Is that hermetically? I say hermetically.
Yeah. It was medically sealed. Whatever.
We can take out my mispronunciation.
Yeah, we can start over right now. The interesting thing about you, I think, is that you've had so many jobs. I mean, you seem to be getting jobs and losing jobs or quitting jobs faster than anybody I know.
I don't lose jobs. I quit them. Yeah. 'Cause losing them implies that I get fired.
Yeah. Well, you quit them frequently. So which means you get them frequently.
Just as of recently, just since I've started doing comedy, I quit them.
How long ago was that, Billy?
6 years ago.
All right.
So just in the last 6 years.
You've been, but you hire in, you go through the process, you get hired. And
then you know what? I'm to the point now where all I want to do is comedy. And I start these jobs and I'm there and I'm just like, this fucking sucks.
You don't want to work for anybody.
I don't. No, I just want to be funny. Yeah. I just want to stand on a stage and be funny. And I was a restaurant manager, so I was like, I can't do both. I was a GM actually when I started. And I'm like, I can't do what I need to do as a GM and still do comedy because it's too many hours. It's like my very first open mic was Ann Arbor Comedy Showcase, and I was driving to it.
Right.
I worked the morning shift. I got off. On my way there, one of my assistant managers called me and said the Coke machine's leaking all over the dining room floor.
Right.
And I'm like, call Coke.
Yeah.
I'm like in Ann Arbor right now. I go, there's nothing I can do. I'm like, you have to call Coke. And he's like, well, where is it? I'm like, it's in the Rolodex. It's, go in the office, and I had to walk him through, all right, give Coke my number. Let me talk to him. And I was so stressing out just from having to do my first open mic that I walked up to Roger, and I said, hey, if it's not too much of a problem, I go, this is my first time. Can I not go first?
Right.
And Roger just gave me a blank stare.
Well, Roger's a character.
Yeah,
that's where I did my first open mic too, and he takes some getting used to.
Yeah, he does. He gave me a blank stare in about 10 seconds. I went, or you can put me first. I go, whatever you want to do.
Or you can tell me to leave.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm just gonna go over in that corner and try not to throw up.
Oh. So you quit doing that, and then you started doing just kind of odd jobs that worked okay with not as much responsibility?
Yes. Basically, though, I didn't have the ability to go to college.
Is that from an intellectual standpoint or a financial standpoint, Billy?
Probably a little of both. A little of both. School wasn't my thing, and I've always struggled in school. And I went to community college, took a couple of classes, but I just, I'm all gung-ho, and I got my folders, and I got everything organized, and then 3 weeks in, I'm on my way to class, and I'm like, I haven't been bowling in a while. Why don't I go bowl? I'm going to go bowl. I'm going to skip class and go bowl. And then once you start down that spiral, it's just...
I know. Yeah. Well, they aren't going to start drafting. But in any case, speaking of stepping away, in the news recently, I don't know if you've heard this, but the royal family is having a little split where Harry and Meghan are stepping away from their royal duties, and they want to spend half their time in Canada.
Is it Canada they're going to?
Well, that's what
Everyone
they said.
Says Los Angeles.
Well, might be Vegas. I haven't. Yeah. What do you think about that?
But I don't know. I don't live in England, so are there little pockets of people who are against the royals?
I don't think
not
I'm against the royals.
But just these people aren't better than us. They're not. Yeah. Look at Prince Andrew.
Yeah.
You're telling me he's better than me?
At some things he is.
Yeah.
That I don't want to mention.
Yeah. If he came to America, he couldn't live within 300 yards of a school.
Yeah.
But because he's royalty, he's better than I am? Because he's royalty that I can't look him in the eye?
I bet he's never considered stealing chocolate milk. So,
all right.
in some areas, he's a little better.
Hey, Prince Andrew, that chocolate milk would help lure some of those girls.
Because those young girls like chocolate milk. Just saying. Moo.
Yeah, we'll be a new team, a new crime deal. I'll get the milk. I'll supply you with the chocolate milk, Andrew. And
hey, I did want to talk to you a little bit more about your comedy, because you're kind of at I don't know if you're at a turning point too, but you're kind of at the next phase where you put out a new CD, your first CD. And was I right with the name? It's Can't Handle the Thought, right?
Yes, Can't Handle the Thought.
Yeah, and where can people get that?
They can get it on wherever you go to downloads, like Spotify, Apple iTunes. It's on all that stuff, all those platforms. I know Spotify and I know Apple iTunes, and it's on 13 others, but I can't think of what.
Yeah, and that was recorded live. I got to be there when it was recorded. I got
you
work on the show
for me.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah.
But what comes to me is that once you do a CD, do you have to abandon that material?
Well, if I get any paid shows, I'm doing that material, but I am trying to work on some new material.
But you're also selling your CD at those shows, right?
No. No, I got to start doing that. I got to figure out how to get that. Nate said he would help me with that, and I should probably take him up on it.
Well, that happened to me once. I went and saw a comedian perform, and he was really good, so I wanted to hear more of him. And so walking out, I bought one of his CDs for $10, $15, whatever it was. And I put it in on the way home. I thought, I just heard this shit. It's the same. What? So you're going to tell me the same joke?
That's one of the reasons I don't want to sell it, too, because it's... Yeah. I don't remember where I was. I wasn't doing well. And so I said, hey, I have my first album out. It's called Can't Handle the Thought. So if you want to hear the exact same jokes but with laughter, you can... You can
in front of people who appreciate them.
Yeah. People with senses of humor.
Here's what it's supposed to sound like when I tell that joke.
Yeah, just go to Spotify and look it up. But you're right, though. That's one of the reasons I don't want to sell it at shows, because it's the same.
It's kind of the downside of making a CD.
I want to be like, you want to hear this stuff again?
Yeah,
it's $10,
exactly. Exactly. Hey, do you want to give me any dating advice?
Why would anybody take dating advice from me? I don't date.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
Well, because you're an outside person that actually has watched me try to date people. I go, dude, what the hell are you thinking?
Yeah, I would just stop dating. Just live off the rest of your life. You don't got much left, Ted. Just.
How bad can the next 5 years be?
Yeah. Just enjoy the time. Meditate, do whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't know. I can't give you any advice. I wouldn't even know where to begin. I haven't seriously dated anybody in.
Now, what's the difference between seriously dating and dating?
Well, I mean, like, really actively looking for somebody to spend the rest of your life with, or really actively looking for somebody that's going to go out with you and have a good time. Like you're going on the dating sites, you're meeting people, you're talking to them. You're like, oh, she sounds interesting. She's pretty. She sounds interesting.
Right.
I'm going to go meet her for a drink and see what happens.
Right. I've got 2 of those right now, 2 ladies I want to meet.
See, like, I have not done anything like that in probably over 10 years.
Wouldn't it be nice?
Sometimes, yeah, but here's the thing. No woman my age wants a 48-year-old man chasing his dream.
Yeah.
They want a 48-year-old man that caught his dream or stole somebody else's. Because they've already been, and it's not a knock against them, they've already been down that road.
Yeah.
When they were young, like, my boyfriend's in a band.
Right.
And him and his band are going to make it.
Trying to make it, yeah.
Yeah, they've already been down that road. So they don't want somebody my age that's like, I'm chasing after my dreams, so we can go get some ice cream because that's all I can afford. Like, I don't have the money to date. I don't have money to take a woman out on a date.
Well, if you were a kept man, if you found a woman that already found her dream financially, and her next dream was to have somebody just sharing their days with her.
This isn't a Lifetime movie, man. It doesn't.
It doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't work that way.
I was on Facebook the other day, and somebody found an app. I think it was actually Mike Green's wife, where you could find out what you would look like if you were a doll, and it takes your picture. And this is mine, and as a doll, I'm quite attractive.
Yeah, but why does it have to be a female doll?
I have no idea, but I'm going to spend more time with me. Because that's as good as I've ever looked.
Yeah.
That was incredible. I thought, jeez.
Yeah, you
really?
look like a Barbie. You look like millennial Barbie.
Ah, thank you.
Right there.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I didn't know I looked like it. I got to quit looking in the mirror. Just kind of, maybe I'll pin that picture up. But
it just takes your picture and then forms.
Yeah, it takes whatever picture you have on Facebook. And I have a goofy picture on Facebook.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
And it turned me into a beautiful doll.
A beautiful model, a Victoria's Secret model.
Yeah. So I don't know what they're selling, but I'm buying.
If you would have looked like that on our road trip.
Hey, let's talk a little bit about that. What did you think about the road trip now that you've had time to digest it? I mean, was it worth doing? Was it fun? Was it interesting?
You know what? I think it was worth doing, but I think we did a lot of things wrong as far as making contacts in clubs and connections. Not so much making them, but keeping them and staying in touch with them.
Yeah, I think we were naive about what we were doing.
Yeah, we were just kind of like, well, let's just go with the flow, and what happens, happens. And,
well, how else do you learn?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't know. We're doing open mics and small shows in Michigan and doing pretty good, thinking, what now?
But it was a great experience, and I think it was great to see how comedy is across the country and how our material held up.
And what did you think about that?
I think for the most part we did pretty well.
Yeah.
We did have some rough spots, but that's comedy in general. But I think for the most part our material did pretty well. And I would have to say, and this isn't a knock on any comedian across the country, but I just think that the Detroit comedy scene is probably one of the strongest comedy scenes. I think it's a very underrated comedy scene.
I don't know who's rating the scenes, but
well, no, but
I think it's a very good comedy.
If you think of stand-up comic, you're going to think comedy. You're going to think of New York, and you're going to think of L.A.
and Chicago.
Yeah, and I think Detroit's got a very underrated. I think the comics in Detroit are just as good from what we saw in L.A.
I think so too.
Yeah, when we were watching
across
that show
the country,
at the Belly Room, I was like, any Detroit comic can hold their own with any of these people.
Yeah. Well, except for Bill Burr. I mean,
when Bill Burr came in. Yeah, that was the one caveat. I was like a kid in a can. I'm sitting there punching you.
Yeah, I know.
As soon as he said, you know this guy from his Netflix show F is for Family, I was just started, dude, punch. You can't see this, people. I'm like hitting Ted in the arm. Like, dude, that's Bill Burr. That's Bill Burr. I was just blown away that Bill Burr came in there and did
15 for 35 people.
Yeah. And crushed it and said things that would have gotten us chased out of the room.
Yeah, he was talking about his daughter, I think.
Well, at the beginning, yeah, and then he got onto the #MeToo stuff.
Yeah.
Saying how, like, we tried keeping you in the kitchen, ladies, but you wanted to work, so welcome to the real world.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, if I said that and everyone's laughing, and if I said that.
But isn't it because they bought into his character? They know what point of view he is coming from, and the fact that
it's Bill Burr, and you know who he is, and you kind of know his viewpoint on things.
Right.
That I think he has a lot of leeway with that.
Yeah.
Any of the named comics have a lot more leeway with that, except when it comes to like open masturbation. Louis C.K. showed us that he had no leeway with open masturbation. So.
Yeah. You know what? I think actually when we did that one, the room in L.A. was Starting Gate. The Starting Gate.
Yeah, the Starting Gate.
I think that may have been the best show I ever had.
Yeah, that was you had a great set.
That show, the one in Frankenmuth, where I was in that competition, I won that competition up in Frankenmuth.
Yeah.
Those two shows are probably the best that I ever had in my 6 years doing stand-up.
Yeah, that Starting Gate one was.
Yeah, it was like 200 people or so, and it was a professional stage, and it was a professional show, and we had a good headliner, and we both killed.
Yeah.
And the host was really nice. I don't even know how Jeff Thomas, shout out to Jeff Thomas, got us on that show, but that was really cool. Yeah. Much better than
and Jeff didn't do any time, I don't think, did he?
No.
Yeah.
No, he just came and watched us and hung out.
Yeah, he just came and watched and got us on the show.
Yeah, he was awesome, man.
Yeah, that was a great show. And my uncle showed up for that.
Yes.
And I wasn't sure how he was going to, but I saw him laughing a couple of times.
Yeah.
I think he was came away impressed and happy with it. But
well, the whole room was roaring. It was really a good crowd.
Yeah.
I remember having to pause to wait for the laughter to die down to go on to the next joke, and I kept thinking, I'm not that funny. You guys have just seen bad comedy for a long time. Yeah. I have no idea.
Yeah, no, it was magic in that room. It had me worried because the host started picking on my uncle. Called him Pat Sajak. Because he was sitting by himself, and I was like, oh, God.
And your uncle has kind of a tough background, right?
Yeah, he's a pretty tough guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell just by looking at him.
Yeah.
Like, he's not the type of guy you want to tangle with or mess with. And the host, the guy started that, and I was like, oh, God.
Yeah.
But then, my uncle just, when the host got off, he got up from where he was sitting, because he was sitting to the corner of the stage.
Right.
And he went to the back of the room.
He moved to the back. Yeah,
he moved to the back and then just sat back there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, thank you.
He didn't want to be part of the show anymore. That was enough. Yeah.
Yeah. But but it was great, man. That was a great night.
That was a great show. Yeah.
But we did well too in San Francisco at the
at that live radio
something
show.
Something like that.
The place where they wanted to pay us in drugs.
Yeah.
We got gummy bears.
Yeah. We can give you a pot, or we can give you what you're going to want after the pot.
Yeah.
Chocolate bars.
I think we were in San Francisco when they legalized marijuana in San Francisco or something.
I think it just became legal.
And they were all like celebrating. And, yay.
Yeah. So they were, which I'm surprised that it wasn't already legal.
I think it kind of was.
But, all
of California seemed to me that laws really weren't laws. They were just kind of suggestions. Here's kind of the rule. Obey it if you want.
Yeah. And you know what? They handled their smog problem pretty well, like in L.A. and that. But from how they handled it, like the gas handle got stuck in our gas tank. We had to call the fire department. We had to call the fire department. They had to come take the handle off and everything, and then they took the handle off, and we pulled away from the pump.
We were pumping gas.
Yeah.
And the nozzle
just
of the gas pump wouldn't come back out of the orifice
Yes.
from the vehicle. We were stuck. And we were afraid by hammering on it, we were going to create a spark and blow the whole damn thing up.
Yeah. That's why we were like, let's just tell them, call the fire department. And
they didn't seem to be as worried as we were.
No, they didn't. And
they were like beating on it. And
I know. I was like, I'm going to go stand on the other side of the parking lot here.
Yeah, but you did have the fire extinguisher in your hand so you could spray yourself in case something happened.
Right. Yeah, I would have, too. I would have just doused myself.
Yes.
Here, Ted, there's a little left.
Thanks.
If it wouldn't work, I'd go in the store and grab little cans of Whip It. It's foam, Ted. It's the same.
Yeah. Graham crackers and marshmallows and Ted.
But the manager, because of the inconvenience, said we can have whatever we want in the store, and we should have cleared them out.
We took like a Slurpee or something.
Yeah, right. We should have just grabbed all the beef jerky we could have and just racks of. I should have went into the cooler with a dolly and just started loading up.
Well, he came around because he was pissed off at first. He was not happy with us and the whole situation.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't care. It doesn't. I mean, I didn't do anything but pump gas. So
yeah, we put it in and pumped gas, and we tried taking it out, and it won't come out. I mean, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Or what do you want us to do? But yeah, so that was fun. And then California, and then Vegas.
Yes.
Vegas was fun.
We went to the pawn shop.
We went to the pawn shop that was on True TV or whatever. Right?
Yeah. To find out those guys don't really work there. Yeah. They just show up for the show.
Yeah, right.
Because they have so much money at this point, they don't need to work anymore.
No. Yeah, they're like, we did it. We sold our show to this guy. Now we just come in to film episodes and that's it.
Yeah. And the Rebar, that was a place we performed.
Yeah, and everything in the bar was for sale.
Yeah.
Everything. The stools, the tables, the pictures on the wall, everything was for sale.
Yeah.
I tried getting Ted to buy the place, and he wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Was that the place I was deaf?
No, that was in Flagstaff, Arizona.
Okay.
That was that going to California or coming back? That was coming back.
Do you want to explain that story?
That was coming back. I pretty much convinced Ted to talk like he was deaf. Do his routine on stage like he was deaf. In the deaf person's voice.
Yes.
And we walked in, and the thing is, Ted had to stay in character the entire time we were there. So I had to act like I was explaining things to him. Well, I actually tried. The MC comes over and tells us what we're going to do for time and who's going up. And then when he walked away, I turned to Ted and said, okay, he said, we're each getting about 10 minutes. And Ted turns to me, he's like, he goes, I'm not deaf, I'm not really deaf, Billy. And I'm like, oh, yeah.
I heard all of that.
Yeah, they're standing right here.
Yes.
But that was fun. And you had a great set there?
Well, they were sympathetic. You know what? If you're handicapped, they're sympathetic. And I should explain the only reason that I know how to talk like that is because I used to have a deaf girlfriend. And I hung around with her and all her friends who all talked like they were deaf, which I'm not going to do right now.
No. So you just joined in with them.
Well, they didn't care.
They don't know you're mocking them.
I was not mocking them. I was just speaking with their accent. If I go to Mexico, I speak with a Mexican accent. And when Mexican people come up here, I hope they can speak with an American accent. Speak like me. I was just trying to blend in.
Yeah. But you had a great set. And then at the end, you said... I broke out of the voice. You broke out of the voice and did your real voice, put on a pair of sunglasses and said, I got to go, I got a blind date, and then walked into the wall behind you.
Feeling out my way off the stage. Yeah.
And so it was, they all liked it. And then you said, okay, now that I've done that, you've got to do something on stage, and I never did.
Yeah, you didn't.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I was the only fool. The weird thing is I did that in Flagstaff, Arizona, which is very, very, very liberal.
Yeah.
It's almost like a throwback hippie community.
It is.
You feel like you're going to climb up the mountain after you take, that's the first camp or something.
There are a lot of backpackers and hikers and travelers that come through there, it seemed like.
Yeah.
Because down at the train station, there's always these people that just with their backpacks just got off the train. And But didn't you say there's some mountain there or something there where they go?
I don't know. It's like one big hostel after another. I don't know.
Yeah. If I were, at some point I always say I got to move to New York, Chicago, or L.A. If it was L.A., I would get a van or something, and I would just live on the side of the road.
You could take the Dangerfield.
I can take the Dangerfield.
Our RV, we call it the Dangerfield.
Yeah. In honor of Rodney.
Yeah, you could take that and just live on the side of the road.
Yeah, live on the side. Do what we did. We got $20 a month memberships to Planet Fitness because you can go anywhere in the country. So we use that to shower.
Yeah.
We should have used it to exercise.
Well, we kind of did.
Had the time.
Our exercise was walking into the shower.
Yeah, basically. Was walking from the RV into the place, going to the shower, coming out.
But it was
using
nice.
the hydro massage beds.
Well, we had bathrooms, nice bathrooms there. We had nice showers there. We had sinks. We could shave.
Yeah.
We get all cleaned up for the day. And also, I thought the little bonus we got that people didn't understand, that if you belong to Planet Fitness, and you can get a membership for just $10 a month, but if you belong to Planet Fitness, you can park in their parking lot all night long.
Yeah.
Because if you want, you can go in at 3 a.m. and work out.
Yeah.
So if somebody knocks on your door, say, hey, I'm a customer. I'm about to go in. I always work out at 3:30. You know? So you always have a place to park.
Yeah.
Free parking for your little RV, free bathrooms, showers, workout equipment if you want to. Lounge chairs, massage chairs, a friendly staff, clean towels.
You got to do the $20 a month one, though, because
that's what we did.
To go anywhere in the country, yeah.
You do?
Yeah. If you do $10, it's just where you signed up. $20, because I had a $10 and I upgraded to $20 when we did the trip.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, so I can get into anywhere in the country. I mean, I still could have. I could have gone as your guest, because when you're the $20, you can bring a guest.
Yeah, you're the gold or the black or the some special card membership or whatever it is. Yeah. You know, I lost my membership.
Yeah, for a very boomer reason.
And which was I refused to let them take my picture.
Which, didn't they take it when you signed up the first time?
No.
Because they took mine.
Yeah, well, that's you. You look like somebody should be taking your picture.
Yeah, right.
No, I had been a member for 3 years or 4 years or something, and one of these young kids working at the door decided that she had to have my picture. Had to be on her computer when I walked in and, showed them my card or they scanned it. And I said, yeah, I don't want my picture taken. And she insisted. I said, no. And so my membership was canceled.
Yeah. Do you hear that, Planet Fitness? Do you hear that?
I don't care.
We're gonna start a movement. Get Ted's membership back.
We're gonna tell everybody to sleep in your parking lot is what we're gonna do. That's how we're getting back at you.
Yeah, right.
You're gonna have all these bums sleeping out in their parking lot now from.
Hey, to the homeless. Can you get $10 a month, homeless people? Go to a Planet Fitness.
Hey, that's a great idea.
$10 a month. You could get pizza once a month, and the pizza.
It's
nights,
once a week.
The bagels,
isn't it like?
I think it's monthly. Is it weekly?
I thought it was like every
weekly,
Tuesday.
I'm going back and getting my membership.
I think it is.
I think it's monthly, but maybe it's weekly. I don't know.
I wonder why homeless people aren't living in the parking lots.
Because you need a bank account in order to get a membership, and they probably don't have bank accounts.
Because they want to do that automatic draw.
Yeah, the automatic draw. But if they could get a bank account and get $10 a month, which they should be able to, I would think, with their panhandling and all that, they should.
Oh yeah,
I think they can get $10 a month.
Sure. But then they got clean bathrooms. They got a place to wash up, a place to shower. They got a parking lot they can sleep in.
Right. Parking lot they can sleep in. They get free pizza. Whenever, whether it's every Monday or once a month, or they do bagels on like a Tuesday, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All they need is a nice tarp and a couple steaks, and they're all set to go.
They're all set to go.
Yeah.
In fact, if I ever won the lotto, that's what I would do. I would sign a bunch of homeless people up.
Oh, I thought you'd become homeless.
No.
Oh.
No. I would sign a bunch of homeless people up to Planet Fitness. And I'll say, hey, get back into shape.
Dude, you don't have to win the lotto to do that.
Yeah, I can't afford to.
You can do one of those a month.
Just one person a month?
Yeah, one person a month for a year. It costs you $120 a month after a year.
Yeah, that's true. I could do one person.
Or yeah.
I couldn't do one person a month because that would add up.
To $120 a month for you.
Yeah, I'm not doing $120 a month.
Well, most people do charitable donations. That could be your charitable donation.
Yeah.
And, when it comes tax time, people say, what did you do for charity this year, Billy? And you could say, I'm supporting the homeless.
Yeah. If I ever won the lottery, that's what I would do.
Oh.
You know what I'd really do if I won the lottery?
What?
Kind of what I'm doing now, I guess. I would get jobs and see how much I had to do to get fired from that job.
Oh, how far you could push it.
Yeah. Yeah. How much would they put up with before they'd fire me.
You know what? We could film that. That could be like a really cool reality TV show.
Yeah, what are they going to put up with? How much crap will they put up with from me?
Let's do that and put it on YouTube.
Yeah, but how could we film it in there? And like if I got a job,
I could bring my camera and have ladies yelling, "He's filming the children!"
So the people here know in Savannah we were in, right? Yeah, Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah.
We were going through the park, I think, where they did Forrest Gump, where they filmed Forrest Gump.
They have lots of parks, big parks, lots of people.
And it was a really nice park with nice sculptures, artwork,
people
everything.
all over the place.
Yes. And Ted was filming as he was riding his bike through. And some lady started yelling at him that he was filming the children.
He's filming the children, get him!
But you know what's funny is you were way ahead of me.
Yeah.
I think because we took different paths through the park. So I was kind of trailing behind you. And as I came through, I heard this lady going, "That guy was filming the kids," and I just went, "I bet you that was Ted." I bet you any money that was Ted.
Well, what am I supposed to do? Stop and talk to her about filming the children?
Yeah.
The children were playing a musical instrument, and you could hear it as I'm riding up. So as I rode past at a decent speed, I turned the camera towards the kids that were beating on these pipes, making this beautiful sound.
Yeah.
And then turned it back to the people playing Frisbee or what.
Right. And to the artwork and all that. Yeah, for the record, Ted wasn't like hiding in a bush. Wasn't hiding in some shrubs.
Yes,
like, yeah, there you go.
No.
No, he was filming his
on a bicycle
ride.
As I went by. Yeah,
yes, you were filming your ride
and
through
talking
the park.
about it. Okay, I'm riding through the park. Oh, look at all this cool stuff going on. Oh, kids playing a thing. He's filming the children. What the hell?
Yeah, that was so funny as I came through. And I was just like, that's got to be tough.
I'm like, God, I got children.
And then
I get it.
And then I saw you turn around coming towards me, and I was trying to pedal away. Like, oh, I'm not with that guy. That guy looks creepy. Someone call the police.
Yeah.
Well, what else was funny was was it in Savannah? Where were we with Joel Fragamenti?
Oh, yeah, that was another park.
Yeah, that was another park.
Yes.
That it was in the center of a town.
Yeah. Well, Savannah is a town.
Savannah?
Yeah, well, Savannah has like tons and tons of parks.
Yeah.
You can only go like 5 blocks and you run into another little city square that's a block of just park area with trees that people go to.
Right. And Ted calls Joe Fragamenti.
Because we wanted to be on his podcast.
Yes, and he's got him on speakerphone. And it's like 9:30 in the morning, 10 o'clock in the morning. It's early. And the senior group comes in the park and starts doing Tai Chi.
Walks out slowly, saying nothing. And some are staring at trees, and some are moving slowly, and they're doing all this Zen stuff.
Yeah.
And I think this is a quiet place where I can talk to Joel when I start. But as we start talking on his podcast, these people are entering the park, and I'm like, filming this.
And then Joel yelled. What did Joel yell? He said something really loud that you could hear almost throughout the park.
It was like,
because you had it on speaker.
Who's beating off in the RV or
which
something?
one's jacking off in the RV?
Yeah, what the hell? And it was real loud.
I see Ted's head go back, and then when Ted's head came down, I was like 4 blocks away. I was just gone. I was like, that was all Ted Moss.
I'm like, oh, God, Joel, there's all these senior citizens being Zen, and you're talking about...
Which one of us is jerking off in the RV?
Yeah, this is just wrong.
And the answer, Joel Fragmenti, is both of us.
Yeah.
But at separate times.
Alternate.
It didn't get weird, okay?
I was day, he was night.
Yeah, we had a schedule worked out. Like, when's your alone time?
Well, I actually enjoyed the tour. I think it was a really once-in-a-lifetime experience. It was really fun. And my main question was, are we going to be funny someplace other than Detroit?
Yeah.
You end up performing for your friends a lot. There's kind of a little rut you can get into when you first start comedy. The first couple of 3 years, you're performing with the same people at the same open mics or the same low-end shows where you're getting paid $20 or whatever. And, you find your audience and your buddies, and you just do it over and over. But at some point you go, how funny is this? You think it's funny, but am I funny in South Carolina? Am I funny in Orlando?
Right.
Would I be funny in Texas? And you don't know, until you get to Texas. I'm in Houston. I'm going to tell my jokes.
Yeah. Will
they think I'm funny? And you just don't know until you go. So I thought that was a good experience. Also, anytime we hit a town, we got to meet the comedy community. For whatever reason, there always seems to be a comedy community, the base people. And if you go to one show one night, you go to the next night, it's the same people, or a lot of the same people at the next show. So it's just like Detroit. There's little groups of people that kind of do comedy together. And it was interesting to meet those people, and some people were very welcoming.
Yes.
And like, oh, dude, I'm so glad you're here. We're going to give you as much time as you want. You don't have to do just 7. You can do 12 or 15 or whatever. And we'll give you a prime spot. You'll be third comic up or in the middle of the show. In other towns, like it was like, yeah, we'll try and give you some time at the end.
Yeah.
When everybody leaves.
Yeah. Our very first Louisville, Kentucky, the very first stop.
Yes.
We got there after the sign-up sheet, and we asked the MC.
During
asked
the
her,
first performance is when we walked in.
Hey, I said, we're from Michigan. We're doing this tour. We explained everything to her.
Yeah, drove through a snowstorm to get here.
And we're just, and she's like, no, it's already. And it ended up somebody even canceled or wasn't there. So she had an open spot that we could have split the time. Yeah. But she just wanted to go. She just wanted to get
I've been here long enough. Yeah, I don't want to do this.
Well, you know what? After the one girl's death, suicide poetry.
Oh, yeah.
Because that was the show of that one.
Was it? Where they had the black girl with the beret that just did that. It wasn't even comedy. It was just...
No, it was just poetry, and it was very sad, depressing. Like, somebody
suicide
should call one of her friends.
Yeah. It was really dark.
Yeah. And
not good.
Yeah, so I don't blame, I guess, the MC for wanting to leave after that.
Yeah, and then the second show, I think, was the show at the Cobra.
Yes.
And at the Cobra, that's kind of funny, too.
And that was in Nashville.
Yeah, but the Cobra is a little teeny bar with bars on the windows. It was just a little scary-looking place on a scary neighborhood.
Yes.
And we parked the RV across the street.
In a CVS or something.
Yeah, it was a CVS parking lot. And we actually went into the CVS, and I talked to the guy. I said, is it okay if we, park the RV here? We want to perform. We understand there's a show across the street, but we'd rather put the RV up in your parking lot where there's some lights. Yeah. And he said, yeah, that's fine. And then I asked him, I said, is it safe? And he said, where are you from? Okay. And I said, I'm from Flint. He's from Detroit. And he said, oh, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
I always thought, what did that guy have to think, like, from Flint and Detroit, and these guys are scared of this area? Like, are you guys pussies or what? Yeah. But it was funny, like, our second show, who comes walking through the door but a Michigan comic?
Yeah, and we didn't know. We walked into the place. We were sitting there, and it looked pretty sketchy. Yeah. And all of a sudden, we see the shadow of a guy walking up, and he's got a little book.
Yep, and I said, that's a comic.
It's got to be a comic. Look at him. He's got his little notebook, and he's walking in.
And then as he passed us, we were like, Diego Antanasso. We were like, oh, my God. He was coming up from Little Rock, I think.
Yeah,
a gig in Little
but
Rock,
he's a Detroit comic that was traveling around, and he just happened into this little nothing bar with us.
Yeah, they hit an open mic on his way up.
Yeah, and then no matter what happened, it was 3 against them.
Yeah. Well, that was the one where it was kind of like a split room, but it wasn't a full wall. It was like a half wall.
Oh, yeah, with the games.
And they had all pinball machines and that on the other side. And the one pinball machine was playing death metal. And it started going off like in the middle of everyone's set.
This is why you live for comedy.
Yeah.
If I could only tell jokes with some metal music in the background, that'd be wonderful.
Drowning me out.
Yes.
And I even said when I got up there, I said, we're from the Detroit area. We're from Michigan. And if you guys are wondering if you should travel to see what open mics are like in other parts of the country, they're exactly like this. Loud music on the other side drowning us out. A guy sitting at the bar with his headphones in, not paying any attention to us. Another person who just won't shut up. I'm like, it's the exact same everywhere.
And you're like, this is why I quit my job, my career. I left my career in the restaurant business to do this. Yes.
And I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah. Well, things looked up because eventually we're doing stand-up comedy at Drunken Spelling Bee.
Yeah. And when we were in Key West.
That was that Key? Yeah, that was Key West, wasn't it?
Key West with Joe and
his girlfriend. I want to say Janice, but I don't think that's right.
I think it's his wife.
I don't think they were married, but I think they were a couple. Yeah. But in any case, super nice people. Had a great show. And actually, we were probably good enough to be on that show, but he didn't know us from anybody.
Yeah, so
he said, I'll tell you what, tomorrow we got something going on.
At a bar called Mary Ellen's in Key West.
And
if
you can stand, if you can stand telling jokes while people are turned sideways watching over a bar their football games, and people are doing a drunken spelling bee intermittently.
Yeah.
We'll call you up to tell some jokes.
We went in between the spelling bee and did jokes, but we both did well. We both did well on that
Considering.
one. Yeah.
Once they were shocked into listening to us.
And Joe told me he'd love to have us at the, I think it was called the Blue Room Comedy Club.
Yeah, I think it was too. Yeah.
And he said he'd love to have us out there, just get in touch with his booker.
Yeah, but the booker was like up in New York or
Boston.
something. Oh, that was it.
Yeah,
okay, Boston.
And I emailed. He responded to my first email before we left because I emailed him about us getting in that room. And he told me to talk to Joe when I get there. And he didn't say anything to Joe that we were coming, and I don't think. And then
he probably wasn't that impressed.
But then when I emailed him back after that, like, hey, we did a set at Mary Ellen's with Joe. He said he'd love to have us on at the Comedy Blue Room.
Right.
What dates do you have? We're going to be back in Florida around February, I think it was.
Yeah, because we were making the loop. We were coming
Never
down.
responded.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I emailed him a couple times after he's never. I figured he's just probably sending his buddies from Boston down.
Well, I don't know. I thought they were awful nice to us, and it was fun to perform down there. It was fun to be in Key West for New Year's Eve.
Yeah, that was a blast.
Yeah.
That was crowded, very much crowded, but it was a blast.
Yeah, the nice thing about Key West on New Year's Eve, you don't have to get online to get a date.
No.
You just have to walk down the street.
Yes, and
pretty
just
much.
Make sure that doesn't have an Adam's apple.
Yeah, you guys got dates.
Yeah. Well, there's I didn't know this. There was a brothel in Key West at the end of Duval Street. There was that brothel.
Was it a legal brothel, or was it we knew it was a brothel and it wasn't supposed to be a brothel?
No, I think it was illegal because the girls were all standing on the porch, like catcalling.
Well, they do that in Flint, but it doesn't mean it's legal.
Yeah, well, I would assume that they're that out in the open, and it's a small. Key West isn't huge, so I would think the police know about them. And I think it's legal because the one night, and I think it was after New Year's Eve, where I said to you, hey, I'm going to go out and try it.
Right.
I'm going to be sexist. I was like, I'm going to go get laid.
Yeah.
And so I took an Uber to town, and I went to the brothel first just to see what their prices were. And
what were their prices?
I don't remember, but I remember it being enough where I said no thanks. It was expensive, but
it wasn't a Flint hooker.
They were on the porch, and I was like talking to them, and I said, "Well, how much is all this? How much is it?" And she said, "We can't talk about it out here." She goes, "We got to go in the house." So I guess it was like an ordinance thing. They couldn't conduct business in the public. They had to go in the house.
Okay.
So I walked in the house. It was like a lobby, like a hotel lobby. There was a front desk and the one girl's kind of stroking my arm. And then she told me how much, and I went, okay. I said, how late are you guys open? She said till 6:30 in the morning. And I said, all right. And this was like 7:30 at night or 8 o'clock.
You know what?
At night.
They should wear name tags, but instead of their name on the tags, just put a price on it.
like
$100, $100.
We could do a game like The Price is Right.
Yeah.
We can try to guess how much for this one.
Or do you want what's behind door number 3?
Yeah, door number 3. But she said, she said they're open till 6:30, and I said okay. I said, well, maybe I'll come back. And the one's like, why do you want to come back? You're already here. Yeah. She goes, just stay. And I said because it's 7:30 at night, and I might be able to get it for a couple of drinks. For the price of a couple of drinks out there.
Free.
Yeah. Yeah. I said, if that doesn't pan out, then maybe I'll come back.
Yeah. So, well, yeah, that's the way to do it. Anyhow,
yeah.
I think so.
It ended up panning out because of Tinder. Thank Tinder. So that.
Yeah. I met one girl on the trip. I had one meet and greet. Well, actually, I met two.
I was going to say, you had two.
I had a formal date with one.
And that was in Tampa?
I don't know. Had to be one of the worst meet and greets I ever had. I mean, I
remember you messaging me 20 minutes and like, hey, this isn't going to take long.
Yeah, she's got her head on the table while I'm talking to her, and she's not impressed. So this is like, I've never met somebody so depressed. Why are you showing up if you're depressed?
Yeah, and she wasn't very energetic or right. She was just very.
No.
Yeah.
It could have been me. I could have just repulsed her to the point where she's going, yeah, I have no interest.
I'll take my free salad and.
Yeah. That's what I want.
Yeah.
I want lettuce.
Yeah.
Let us and less of you.
Less of you.
Yeah.
But then you met a lovely young lady.
Really good-looking string bikini lady.
And
where was that? Was that Jacksonville?
No, because it was when we came. It was when we came back.
It was on the beach. I remember we had to walk around her.
It might have been Fort Myers. No. Was it? I think it was
Tampa?
on the way back. It was right before I left, I think.
Was that?
I don't think it was early in the trip, like when we got to Florida and then went down the East Coast. And I don't think it was then. I think it was. I thought it was on the way back.
I was to the point of being lonely at that time where I thought, well, what the hell?
It could have been on the way back.
And we walked by her twice, and I said, I got to go back and talk to that girl.
Yeah, because she was all by herself, just laying on the beach.
Yeah, but she laid in a position where you almost had to walk around her.
Yeah, she was obvious. In the walkway.
Right where just 10 feet up from where the water was breaking.
Yeah.
On a big beach where she had lots of beach where she could have been out of the way. She was right in the walk path.
Right.
So obviously she wanted some attention.
Yeah.
But when we came back, she had moved up into the sandy area, and we walked past her, and I said, hey, Billy, I'm going to go back and talk to that girl.
Yes.
Yeah.
You would try talking me into going to talk to her, but I was like, at that point in the trip, my money was very low, and I'm like, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's go get some ice cream.
Yeah.
Dutch, though.
Yeah. Did I tell you I got carded the other day? Did you see that? I think I posted it. I got carded.
You got carded?
Yeah, I got carded for alcohol. And it was so funny for me. I was
what store were you at?
I was at Target. I'm checking out. I get carded, and I put up my hands and said, really? Have you looked at me? Really? And she said, yeah, I really need to see your ID. I said, well, I'll get it out, but I got to tell you, last time this happened, Nixon was president.
And she went, who's Nixon?
Exactly. And when she looked at it, I said, was that good enough to buy the root beer? Because it was root beer. It wasn't even beer. It was root beer.
I was going to say, you're not even a drinker.
No.
I was like, what are you buying alcohol for?
No, I can buy beer if I have company, but I'm buying root beer. So I got carded for root beer. Okay.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
You didn't point out to her like, hey, that's root beer.
Yeah, I did after she carded me out, but I was so complimented, I wanted to go through the carding process. Yeah. We're doing this. I feel pretty good about myself right now. Nah, hey everybody, I'm getting carded.
Hey, get on the speaker. Tell everybody.
Yeah. Can somebody video this?
Yeah. I had a bouncer. I was in the line. Everyone's got their ID out, and I handed him my ID, and he gave me a look. He just looked at like a confused look on his face and waved me on. He's like, "Come on, buddy."
Whatever.
Yeah, I was like, "Dude, you could at least just glance at the ID. Like, you didn't have to say it like that, like you did."
Well, we actually kind of got carded on our trip when we were trying to get into a comedy club, and you said we're comedians.
Yes.
And he said
that was at the Comedy Store.
Yeah. Tell me a joke.
Yeah. Yeah, because Ron Taylor, who's out there, who's on Bill Burr's episode of Ringers.
Yes.
Ringers. He's on one of those episodes.
Well,
with Bill
we
Burr.
should explain that Ron is a comic from Detroit, the Detroit area that we performed with, that moved out to L.A. probably about 4 years ago or something like that.
He's now out of his van too.
He was. I don't know that he still is for 5 years.
I don't know if he is, but yeah.
But he now works the door at the Comedy Store and performs there also.
Yeah. He's actually a regular in the main room now. So kudos.
Very cool.
Yeah, and then he's on Bill Burr's The Ringers. Yeah. But anyways, he told us just tell him you're a comedian, they'll let you in for free in the belly room.
Right, but they also set us up on the side with the comedians instead of being down with the audience.
Right, and so we walked in and I told the guy, hey, we're comedians. And they said that, we can come watch the show. And he said, you're a comedian? And I said, yeah. And he said, tell me a joke. And I thought of telling him the Walmart joke, which is like a 3 minute, it's like a 3 to 5 minute setup.
How much time do you have?
Yeah. I would say in my head, I'm like, what's the longest joke I know?
It's a really good blowjob joke.
Yeah.
It's worth the wait.
It's worth the wait. No, but I told him the quick one about dating the stripper. And he laughed and said, all right, go ahead.
Yeah.
And then,
and then he just looked at me and said, you look funny enough. Go ahead.
He's like, go ahead.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah. I said, you don't want to hear his jokes.
Yeah. But that is kind of a weird way to get carded as a comic. Now, I know the really cool thing about One Night Stands, which is a new club.
In Waterford,
Yeah, in Waterford.
Michigan.
is that they let comics in for free. They don't charge anything to come in and watch ever. Even the shows on the weekend, no charge for comedians, which is very cool.
And I think that's how it should be done.
I think so
Especially
too.
if you know their comics, I don't think you should charge them. You should let them come in and.
Yeah, especially if you've performed there before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I think so. I think you should encourage comedians to hang out and be part of that organization or that location or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a great thing. But of course, it's being managed by a comedian too.
Yeah.
Mike Green's running that place.
Mike Green is one of the best comedians I've ever seen, I feel.
He's he should have been huge.
Yeah, his stage presence, everything. I mean, his timing, his jokes, his demeanor, the character he is on stage, he's just phenomenal.
Did I ever tell you how I met him?
No.
I was I think I had done the comedy class down at Mark Ridley's, and Mark Ridley's is a big comedy club in Detroit, if you don't know, and they have classes there, and I had done the comedy class. I think I was running an open mic, so we had I'm going to say 10 to 12 comedians that were going to perform, and then right before the show started, Joel, who runs the door and runs the open mics and things down there, came back and said, we got to add this guy. It's Mike Green. Well, and I said, where do you want him? And he put him right in the middle of the pack, just prime time. And I thought, okay. And I was giving everybody the light, because you run the light and tell people when to get off stage. I was giving everybody the light at 6 and taking them off at 7 minutes. And I said, how much time do you want this guy to get? He said, don't give him the light. He said, let him go as long as he wants. I said, really? I said, okay. And Mike walked back, and I introduced myself, and he was super nice and very humble and didn't have much to say. And I went out and, introduced him and walked off stage and started listening, and he was hilarious. And he just kept going. I thought, oh, my God, this guy is great. I can't believe, who is this open micer?
It's this open micer.
I know.
And who are these poor open micers behind him?
Who's got to follow Mike Green?
Yeah, right.
Oh, my God. No, and he just killed. He was just like, wow, this guy is really good. So it was very, very, very cool. But that was my introduction to Mike. Now, he was here. I had a cookout at my house for comedians last summer, and he showed up with his beautiful wife and was really nice. Came out with the owner of the club, also Stan.
Yeah.
I don't know Stan's last name. I probably should know that.
Yeah, I don't know Stan's last name either.
Super nice guy, but they came out to the party, so
yeah,
it was nice to have him out here. I remember his wife wanted vodka, and I didn't have vodka. But she's very nice, so I now have vodka in case she ever shows up again, with or without Mike. No, super nice couple. Nice guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Mike, the first time I met Mike, I did a show with him at one of those veteran halls, KFC or whatever.
Right.
And he just right from the get-go, I was like, dude, this dude's hilarious.
Yeah. Now, you've performed with Mike Green, Bill Bouchard, Billy Ray Bauer?
No, I've never performed with Billy Ray Bauer.
Sal D'Amelio,
Norm Stoltz.
Norm. Who do you think?
Dave Landau.
Who do you think is the best you ever performed with? And I know they're varying styles, and it's hard to compare one.
It's like comparing running backs, I guess, because they all have different styles. But,
right.
I would have to put Mike Green at the top.
Really?
And then Bouchard second.
Bouchard killed last week, man, at Holly.
Oh, my God. It was just uproarious.
You know what? I sent him a note and said, dude, that's probably one of the best shows I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He really had the crowd. It was crazy.
Yeah, he did. It's funny. I did a show with Bill a few years ago when I first started featuring, and it was with Chad Jakota, and I think it's the Laugh Machine he calls it. He puts on – it was at the Swan Boat Club.
Oh, okay.
And I featured – so Chad went up to the stuff, I featured, and I was like, when I came off, I'm like, man, I killed.
Yeah.
I just crushed it.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, I was almost got a standing ovation. I can't believe how well I did.
Right.
And then Bouchard got up, and 5 minutes into a set, I went, okay, no, wait, that's killing. That's killing. I did pretty well, and that is what killing and destroying a room is right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I felt good about myself, and then I saw Bill, and I was like, nope, I didn't do that.
Yeah.
I had a great set. I did well.
It's fun when you have a great set, though.
Yeah.
And, as a comedian, when you had a great set.
Yes.
You just feel it and you go, well, that's why I do it. It's really worthwhile. The best set other than California, when I did that competition up in Frankenmuth. Yeah. I had, according to Tim Finkel, I had 3 applause breaks and 1 wahoo break. They started yelling. Swear to God, I had to just wait for them to stop yelling. And that was a packed room, standing room only. It was a great show. It's like, yeah, I'm not going to do any better than this.
Yeah.
This is as good as it's going to get. And there's not one person in this audience that's going to help me advance my career either. So what's the ultimate job that would work good to coincide with doing stand-up comedy?
Just doing stand-up comedy would be.
No. I mean, but to support your comedy, if you have to have a job, what job? Describe the job you would want if you don't know what it is.
I think kind of what I'm doing now is working out. As far as like I'm just living off of that and comedy. I'm not really making money, but I'm getting by. I do Instacart. Which where I do people's grocery shopping for them.
Oh, okay.
And then I also do DoorDash.
And you can do that when you want to do that.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like doing Uber, right?
Yeah.
That you can pick when you work and
when you work and when you want to, and it's not as much wear and tear on the car as Uber or Lyft, because I don't like pick somebody up in Rochester Hills, Michigan. They're like, I want to go to Ann Arbor, which is an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have any of that stuff, so. It's pretty much a 10-mile radius around my house. I've got like 4 or 5 Krogers right by me.
Well, you actually have to shop and take it to their house?
Yep.
And what premium do I pay if I want this service?
It depends. It just depends on, I don't know how they do the pricing, but from what I could gather, looking at what I make for the orders, it depends on how much stuff they're getting and how far away they are from the store.
Okay, if I buy $100 worth of groceries, so I went grocery shopping today. It was about $100.
I don't.
Am I going to pay $110 for it?
Maybe $115, $117. I might get $17 for it.
Okay.
And so you're paying that extra. And what's weird is there was a lady last night. I was sitting at home. I was in my shorts. All said, it was like 9:30.
Yeah.
And I seen an order come through, and it was for $10.33. And it was one item, a bottle of Tito's vodka. And I thought, one item to go and buy a bottle of Tito's, and like I'm 2 miles from the Kroger.
Yeah.
I'm like, for $10, I'll go do it. So I took the order, got dressed.
You got paid
$10.
And how much did the Tito's cost?
Tito's was $21, I think.
Oh, so you made like 33%?
No. Well, yeah, right. I made like 33%.
Wow.
Yeah. And what the thing was, she
must have wanted vodka bad.
And she lived right behind. I was like, you could have walked to the
She
Kroger.
had to be drunk and shit.
No, she didn't seem drunk at all. Because I have to card them. Because it's alcohol, I got to scan their ID.
Okay.
So she met me on the porch.
Yeah.
And I, grabbed her ID. And she said, thanks a lot, I appreciate it. I said, hey, no problem, have a good night. And
was she cute?
Yeah, she was.
Was she like, hey, sailor? Do you like vodka?
No, you know why? Because when I had to enter her ID manually because it wouldn't scan.
Yeah.
And I didn't have my reading glasses on, so I had to look under my glasses. So I did the old man. I had to tilt my head up.
Yeah.
So I think that probably, any shot that I might have had, I think when I did that, she's like,
yeah, whatever, dude.
Yeah, maybe after the bottle of Tito's.
Yeah.
But not
she was
before.
probably online ordering another bottle right after you left.
Right.
Hoping for somebody better to show up with the Tito's.
Right. Yeah, that was the 4th bottle I brought her. She ended up getting like...
Every day she's at the store returning all this Tito's.
She's like, I should just throw a party or something.
$17 a shot. $17 or $10. I got a chance. I got a chance at somebody. I'm going to do that. Do they have women that do this delivery? Can you request a woman deliver your stuff?
Yeah, Mr. Creepy. Sure. Yeah, right. Yeah, sure. Like, what do you got planned? Like, have you revamped your basement? Are there, like, you wall off a corner, make it soundproof?
It's all black. Yeah, no.
Is there a delivery driver down there right now?
Exactly.
Papa John's is still going, hey, where did Brittany? Brittany ever come in? 3 days ago, she took a pizza. I have not seen her.
Some guy named Ted. I walked into KFC the other night, and the guy was so mad at the people. How long do I got to wait? What is going on? And he's yelling at the people working at KFC. Okay, these are not high-paid employees. And as soon as I walk in, he's like, I hope you got a lot of time. I'm like, I don't know. Just getting some chicken. I'm not busy. Okay. And so then they bring out the order, and there's something wrong with it. Well, did you put in the stuff I asked? And they're like, no. And they went, and he turns to me and wants to involve me. So he's talking to me about what it is involved. I'm like, look, dude, I'm happy. I came in here happy. I'm going to stay happy. I don't care.
Yeah.
You do your thing. You do you.
Yeah.
Just leave me out of your KFC drama. So,
Like, there are bigger tragedies in the world.
Yeah.
Like, relax. You're going to get your chicken.
yeah.
They're still going to clog your arteries, sir.
Yeah.
You're going to be able to do that. Just calm down.
Yeah. Well, it's like road rage when people get pissed off. I can't believe you pulled in 50 feet in front of me. Like, well, there was an empty space.
That's me. I get road rage.
Yeah, you're easier to anger on the road than I am, I think.
Yeah.
I think that was evident in our trip. Maybe that's why you weren't driving.
Yeah. Well, I don't like stupidity. Like, I was coming up Mound. I got off 696 to Mound Road. And Mound Road, for anyone that's not in Michigan or the Detroit area, is a 4-lane road where the speed limit's about 50 miles an hour. So you're pretty much moving.
Yeah.
And there's lights and everything on it. But if you do the speed limit, you pretty much hit all the greens. But anyway, I was in the far right lane. And I know...
On Mound.
Okay. And I know as a few miles up that right lane ends, so I'm just going to get over now.
Sure.
Or I think I was trying to get around a semi that was in the right lane. And I looked in the mirror, and I could see
in the lane
there was
left
a
of
gap.
you.
Yeah,
You were in the
left
far
of
right.
me. I looked at my side mirror, and I could see there was a gap, so I looked over my shoulder, make sure nobody was there. I put my signal on, and when I put my signal on, I was still looking in my side mirror. This guy, I saw him accelerate.
He was blocking you.
Yeah, so I just pulled right over.
Yeah.
And I made him hit his brakes. And then he moved to my right side. And he as he passed, he said, "Nice driving," or something. And I said, "Go fuck yourself."
That accelerated.
Yeah. But you know what I've noticed is there's a gradual acceleration to conflict.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, what's your problem? And then you like, man, you did this, and that's why I take it straight from like down here to what's your problem to, hey, go fuck your mother. All right? I go from like the very bottom to like, let's take it right to the top.
Yeah, if we're going there, we might as well be there now.
And I really shouldn't, because I'm not a fighter. I get angry. That's why I don't carry a gun, because I get so angry when I drive. And I'm trying to be better.
Yeah.
It's one of my goals in 20.
Yeah. I had a girlfriend for a brief point in time back when I was single and younger, and she was a girl from Flint and had gone to a really tough high school. She had graduated from Southwestern High School, which is a tough inner city school.
Yeah.
And she wasn't very tall, but she was tough as nails. Good looking, but tough. And I remember we went on a date one night, and we had only been seeing each other for less than a month probably, and she wanted to go to a dance bar. Well, I don't take dates to dance bars. Dance bars is where you go to get a date. Once you got a date, you go to the movies or dinner or something else. But this is what she wanted to do, and she liked to dance, and it was a real popular bar. So I said, okay, that's fine. Let's go there. Well, the place is just packed. Just, body to body packed. Can't even walk down the aisles without turning sideways half the time.
Was it a sock hop?
No, it was a fucking sock hop, dude. No, and it wasn't a disco. No, it was a bar, man, with rock music and a lot of people dance floor and packed. It was a popular bar, but it was a bar in Flint. Yeah. And so people were a little edgy, industrial town. Yeah. But in any case, I walk in with this beautiful girl, and I go, okay, what do you want to drink? I'll make my way over to the bar, because we're never going to get served with this many people. Yeah. And see if I can shout out a couple of drinks and have a bartender give us drinks. And she tells me so. I go over to the bar, come back. It's got to be 5 minutes later. It's just that many people. And here she is, nose to nose with this guy, just arguing. I'm going, I don't know what the hell happened or what's going on here, but it's so packed. So I turn my back to him, front to her, and just shimmy my body in between their two bodies, because it's body to body in the place anyhow, and hand her drink. And he taps me on the shoulder. And so I say, just a second. So I flip around and say, yeah, what's up? And he's like, why are you with my fiance? And I said, just a second. So I flipped back around and said, this guy behind me has asked me why I'm with his fiance. And she said, I'm not his fiance. I said, just a second. So I flipped back around, noisy bar, standing right in the middle of the aisle. She says she's not your fiance, and I'm on a date.
I like it. Before I answer that question, let me get clarification.
Well, yeah, I want to know too. If that's the situation, I'm curious. I want to know, why am I with your fiance? And he said, well, she still got the ring. It's just a second.
Hey, let me see.
So I turned back around and say, he says you still got the ring. She said, I tried to give the ring back. You wouldn't take the damn ring. I don't want the ring. So just a second. So I flip around and said, look it. She said she wants to give the ring back. I don't know what's going on. I don't really care. I'm on a date. It's Saturday night. Obviously, you two got to talk. But this is my time. You're going to have to do this on your own. I don't know when. I don't care. She's like, well, she won't talk to me. I said, hang on just a sec.
So now all of a sudden you become a mediator.
I'm a social worker. Yeah. So I turned back around and I said, he wants to talk. Will you talk with him sometime? She said, man, I said, just say you'll talk with him. I said, okay. So I said, just a sec. Turn back around and look, this is all I can do. She says, call her tomorrow, set up something, you guys can talk. And he wants to give me a raft of shit about it. I said, I'm done. I'm not doing any more. You do what you want Saturday night. This is my date. It's my time. You're not engaged. I don't care. You're interested? Great. Tomorrow, get her back. Do whatever. I mean, it's up to you. It's not up to me.
Just know, though, that tonight.
Before you go there, I'm going to be there. So I turned back around and, you know, this guy's tapping me on the back, and I'm like, this is such bullshit. And, you know, and it's just like, so I said, this sucks. Why are we even here? This guy, you know what? I don't know who he is. I don't know what's going on. I don't even care. I don't care. You can do whatever you want. But as for me, for tonight, I'm leaving. And if you want to leave with me, it's time to go. And so she says, okay. And so we go to walk out. And I talked to the bouncer who I happen to know because I'd been to this bar before. And I said, that dude comes over, hold him up till I get in my car so I don't have a bunch of shit in the parking lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's one of these guys, and he's wearing driving gloves, fingerless driving gloves. Like he's ready to fight somebody with his driving gloves. Kind of like, but it is Flint. Yeah, I'm sure he's punched and been punched before. It's just like, and I don't want it to be me. I'm like, don't want to do this. I mean, she's hot, but...
Yeah.
Right. I don't care. I really don't care that
much.
much.
Not having him pull out a knife and cut me.
Yeah. And tomorrow, if you can take her back, take her. If she's not interested, keep on moving. You know, that's where I am with it. I'm not that emotionally involved in the thing. Nice girl, but I don't want the situation. So we hop in the car. I've got a great big Blazer at the time. It was one of those old 2-door Blazers.
Yeah.
He's got a little hot sports car. He's delayed. He comes out, gets in the sports car, starts following me, tailgating me. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I'm looking at her going, what the hell is the story? So she's giving me all this yap about the relationship and what happened, why they broke up, and how he's an asshole. And I'm like, okay, that's great, whatever. But now the guy's tailgating me. All of a sudden, I'm involved. I don't want to be involved in this. And so I'm tapping my brakes, and then I'm pushing on my brakes hard to, like he's almost hitting. And then all of a sudden, I get beside him, and I slam on my brakes, and then I get on his tail. So he's got this little bitty car, and I got a great big truck, and I'm tailgating him, and he goes faster and faster and faster. And we take the expressway, and it merges into another expressway, and he goes down the ramp onto the next expressway, but I take an exit ramp. So I go another way, and I'm behind him, so he's leading. He goes through the ditch, down through the grass, through the ditch, bouncing this car out to get back up onto the exit ramp where I'm at. I'm like, what the hell?
No, what you're thinking is, this must be some good pussy.
Can't wait to get you home.
Yeah,
holy shit.
Right.
Might have to shoot this guy first. This is going to work out.
This guy's willing to go through all of this.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it just so happened the exit I got off at had the state police station. I think, okay, fine. We'll go in the parking lot of the state police station. Yeah. This is where we're going to do this. And so he gets out of his car behind me, and I'm stopped in front of the front doors of the state police station. Nobody's coming out, unfortunately, and I'm like, this isn't good. And he's like, roll down your window, roll down your window, roll down your window. Well, you know what? I'm right at sucker punch
Oh, yeah.
height.
Yeah.
You know, this is what's going to happen. I'm going to roll down the window. He's going to hit me in the side of the head.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, yeah, I'm not going to do that. And I said, I will put my window down a little bit, but I want you to know this vehicle is in reverse. So if anything happens to me, my foot happens to slip off this brake onto the gas, it's going backwards into his car.
Yeah.
And so I put it down just a few inches, but not big enough where he can punch me through it. And he's like, put it down more, put it down more. I'm like, no. I said, look, you guys got to talk. I don't give a shit. And we go on and on and on, back and forth. And finally.
And the police never came out?
No, they never came out. So finally I go, okay. And so I go to take off. He runs back and gets in his car. Then I put it in park. And he gets out of the car. Then I go to take off. He runs back. And so I do this about 5 times. And finally he just peels out and goes away.
Wow.
There's my...
And that couple is married to this day.
And I visit him on the holidays.
Yeah, right.
And he's still wearing those gloves.
I still get a Christmas card from him. Yeah, him and his gloves. Christmas card.
Oh, God. Hey, we should end this thing, man. We'll talk for... We've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
So.
You're going to have to break this into 3 different episodes. Part 1.
Yeah, you think all 3 were...
Part 1, Part 2, Part 3.
I'm going to be lucky if I get 30 minutes of usable material out of this, I think.
We talked for almost 3 hours. And, yeah, I'd be lucky if we get 30 minutes.
30 minutes of good stuff.
It's been so long, I can't even remember the mental notes I made of things I want you to take out that I said.
Yes. Well, I'm sure I'll find them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you have anything you want to plug before we get out of here? Any shows or anything upcoming that's important to you? Now, how about plugging your own podcast, which is called?
The Lighten Up Podcast.
And how often does that come out?
Weekly. Every Monday.
And how can people find that?
And you can find that on wherever you go to get podcasts. I don't know. I have an app on my phone where I get. I'm technology challenged, so I don't know. But I guess Apple, iTunes.
Yeah. And you just search.
Stuff. Yeah.
You just search Lighten Up
Podcast. And
okay, cool.
You can find it. I guess the shows I'm doing, well, we got our Lighten Up comedy show at Aubrey's in South Lyon. It's sold out, though.
Is that a regular show you got?
No, we just they got a banquet room, and I went and talked to them about.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, what's your regular show? Isn't it at Sullivan's? Okay, and that's every month, isn't it, or something?
Yes, usually the last Wednesday of the month.
Okay.
I'm in Crown Point, Indiana with Sal in February.
Sal D'Amelio.
Yeah, Sal D'Amelio.
Yeah,
Sal's such a good. He's one of the best comics out there, and he's just a good guy.
A super good guy.
Yeah.
I performed with Sal until he couldn't stand it. So. No, Sal's always funny.
Yeah, and he's been very good to me, to both of us, giving us.
He's nice to everybody. Yes. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Sal. He's a good guy.
He recognizes talent.
Yeah, that's what I'll say.
Well, anyhow, I want to thank you, Billy, for coming in.
Yeah.
This is a long conversation between friends. I don't know how entertaining people will find it. I'm hoping somebody will actually tune in to our next show after listening to this, but God only knows if that'll happen. But it's good seeing you, man.
Yeah, you too.
All right, we've got to get out of here. So I want to give a special thanks to Mr. Billy Reno, who made today's show so fun. You can catch him just about anywhere they're doing comedy in the Midwest. Give his CD a listen. Can't handle the thought. And a shout out to everybody who shared our last show. Thanks. We really appreciate that. And you can find all of our shows at tedtalks2.com. That's with the number 2. And if you subscribe, you'll never miss the show or any of my interesting friends. And if you share, I will think you're awesome. Speaking of interesting, our next show features Mr. Mark Monto, who's been doing funny stuff forever. Tune in to see what he has to say. But until next time, be safe, be good to each other, and just try to be happy. I'm Ted Moss, and those are my thoughts.